morning, everyone. Hillbilly Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening, canning, recipes, a little bit of everything. We got a cool front last night. Got about 1.5 inches of rain, which we really needed. We enjoy it. But this cool weather signifies that the seasons are changing. We're finally seeing some fall here in Texas. And guess what? The holidays are right around the corner. So we are going to make something very special for you today. It is my Mimi's pound cake recipe, who passed away back in the early 70s. It's been handed down to me from my Mimi to my mother. It's something I enjoy making, and it is a real pound cake from scratch. Wait and find out. Okay, everyone, I have all my ingredients out that I'm going to make my homemade from scratch pound cake. Let me tell you a little bit about what I got. I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 3 cups of sugar, a cup of buttermilk, 6 eggs that need to be separated. I'm going to show you how to do that. I have 2 teaspoons of orange extract, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, not baking powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This recipe calls for 6 separated eggs, and I'm going to show you how to separate them. I learned this a very, very long time ago. You just simply crack the egg and you keep the yolk in the shell. You toss it back and forth. And there you go. Okay, this recipe calls for you to sift your dry ingredients together. That means everything except the sugar. So we're fixing to start that. If you do not have a sifter, I just use one of my strainers. This is a quick, handy way, and it works just fine. It's going to give us the fluffy look that sifting does, and we're going to set this aside and get ready for the rest of the recipe. Okay, so the first thing we do is we are going to blend our sugar and shortening together, and we're going to do this on low. Okay, this looks like it's mixed pretty well. Now we're going to add our egg yolks one at a time, and let it mix well in between your additions. You can see it's starting to take on a different consistency each time we add an egg. Can you imagine our grandparents making this from scratch and having to use their arms to mix this up? I did do that when I was younger and first started to make this recipe, and let me tell you, the KitchenAid is well worth it. Adding our last egg. Look how pretty that batter already looks. Now we're going to add our flavoring. Again, this is 2 teaspoons of orange flavoring. You can also use lemon. I've made both, and they're both very good. So there's our flavoring. This recipe also calls for your egg whites to be whipped up and beaten, so that's what we're fixing to do while our stuff is mixing in the KitchenAid. Now it's time to add to our egg, sugar, and flavoring mixture. You want to begin and end with your dry ingredients. So we're going to add them alternately with the buttermilk. So we're starting with our dry ingredients. Now we're going to add a little bit of the buttermilk, a little bit more of our dry ingredients, a little bit more of our buttermilk. Now you know why this is called a pound cake. A pound of everything goes in it. More dry ingredients. Last of our buttermilk. Ooh. That made a mess, didn't it? And then we're going to end with our dry ingredients. Again, I couldn't imagine doing this by hand, but they sure did. Now it's time to add in our beaten or whipped egg whites. So you want to slow this down because this is something you need to do very slowly and gently. So we're going to just add a little at a time. Okay, we have added all of our 6 egg whites that were beaten, and we're going to let this mix a little bit. You can see how creamy and fluffy that batter is. Okay, our batter is all mixed up. And now we're going to put it into a 10-inch tube or bundt pan. We did spray this pan down a little bit with some canola spray just to keep it from sticking. We want it to come out just beautifully when it's done. Okay, let's just allow this to get settled and even. Just kind of jiggle it a little bit. We're going to bake this now in a 350-degree oven for about 1 hour. Stay tuned for the finished results. Look at that beautiful cake rising. Can't wait to dig into it. Yum, yum. Okay, the pound cake's been in there for an hour, and a good way, and the old-fashioned way of testing to see if something's done in the middle, is you take a skewer, a toothpick, or a skewer, whatever you have, and just go down all the way through the cake. And if it comes out clean, it's ready. And looky there, it is ready. Now that, my friends, is a good old-fashioned made from scratch pound cake. And I'm going to share something with you that's kind of special. I had my mom write out this recipe, and I have kept this for probably a good 20-25 years. Do this for your kids. Do this for your grandkids. Let them have something in your own handwriting for your recipes and stuff, instead of the old generic recipe cards or a printout from the computer or something. This is worth more to me than anything else. Okay, I'm going to set my pound cake up, and I'm going to let it cool for probably a good couple of hours before I attempt to take it out of the bundt pan. And here is my completed pound cake, and I'm getting ready to dig in. This is something that you can top off with strawberries or some orange marmalade, whipped cream, anything you want to go with your dessert. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you. Have a great day.